There's shock and grief across the country this morning after the deaths of 10 wedding guests in a horrific bus crash in the New South Wales Hunter Valley. It's Australia's worst road crash in 30 years, and the 58-year-old bus driver is set to face court today on multiple driving charges.
We're learning more about those who were killed and injured when the coach rolled on a roundabout just before midnight on Sunday. They came from the town of Singleton, where the bride and groom lived, parts of Melbourne's northeast and Queensland. Specialist counsellors have been brought in to help the local community and first responders. Our reporter Xanthi Gregory is at Cessnock, south of the crash site. Xanthi, good morning to you. So you have been out to the scene this morning, and the community's really been rallying around and coming to pay tribute at the crash site.
Yes, definitely. Just being at the crash site this morning, there are flowers laying around everywhere. People who are really feeling this in this community have headed down there just to pay their respects. I was at a candlelight vigil at a church in Branxton, not too far from the crash scene last night, and we also know that the lights at Vivid were turned off at 7:30 last night for a minute, just to pay the respects to those people who lost their lives in this awful tragedy on late Sunday evening. We know that people on the bus had come from places like Queensland, Victoria, Sydney, and especially many here in Singleton. So it's particularly being felt here in this tight-knit area. We're also starting to get a bit of an understanding and get a bit of an insight into who was on that bus. We do know, we've unfortunately been able to identify that Andrew Scott and his wife Lynn did die in that bus crash. Unfortunately, they leave behind two beautiful young children. So this tragic accident is going to be felt extremely heavily by many, and the reality of what unfolded is only just really starting to set in.
Yeah, affecting so many communities around the country very profoundly. The bus driver has been charged and he'll be in court today.
Yep, so the 58-year-old man from Maitland, the driver of that bus, will appear at Cessnock Local Court, which is just behind me today. He's facing 10 charges of dangerous driving, occasioning death, so we'll get an outcome of that, but he's been refused bail by police. We're also expecting to hear from police a little later at 8 o'clock this morning, hopefully to shed some more light onto what exactly went on and why this bus rolled over around that roundabout on the way home, taking 30 or so people back from the wedding. That bus has actually been removed from the scene late last night, and at about 11 o'clock we know that bodies were being removed yesterday, but the roads and the road diversions do remain in place, as that's still an active crime scene. And there's also 14 people who still remain in several hospitals across New South Wales. One of those people is in a critical condition, so everyone's hoping that those people can recover as quickly as possible.
Okay, Xanthi, thanks.